Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a great day so far. So today we're going to be talking about highlights, but not just any highlights. We're going to be talking the best grown-up highlights, as I like to call them. I feel like that's a great term, but what I'm talking about, if you don't know what that means, because why would you? I'm talking about highlights that aren't shimmery, glittery, metallic, see you from space. I'm talking about highlights that melt into the skin, that give you a glow, that give you some luminosity, some life, some light hitting the skin in the most natural, soft, subtle way, as if the light is just being kind to you today. No one's going to necessarily know you're wearing highlight. It's not going to emphasize lines and texture and age you. It's not going to leave a cast on the skin. That's what I'm talking about when I say a grown-up highlight. It's less like playful, less in your face, less see it from space, less extreme. That's what we're talking about. Soft, luminous, radiance, light. That's my type of highlight. It's the highlight of dreams that I love. It's what I go for, what I reach for, what I grab to, what I gravitate to. It's what I love. It's what I like. And I'm here to share my favorites with you. So I'm not going in any kind of particular order here, let me just say that. But I'm going to start off with the cream highlight. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand, and this is the shade Pillow Talk. It's the only shade I have, I think, of her highlights in the wand form. Yes, I think it is. But from what I see, they're all kind of similar along these lines. So, you know, if you have a different skin tone, lighter or deeper than mine, then you may wish to pick up a different shade. But from what I've seen, they all tick all of these boxes. So here is a super heavy swatch, so you can just see the tone of it. But as you can see, when you blend this out, it just melts into the skin and you're just left with the most glorious luminosity. And this is a cream highlight, or a liquid highlight, I guess, that you can build up. You can use it under foundation and keep it super soft and subtle, or you can use it on top as a last step and everything be a slightly more powerful of a glow. So you're kind of really up to you. But do you see how it like almost doesn't have any color? When you turn your hand, it's not like you can see color or, you know, a highlight put on my hand. It just kind of looks like my hand is just super luminous. And that's what I'm kind of going for with my highlight. I don't want it to look like a color. I don't want it to be a bright gold or, you know, a pink tone to my highlights. I like them to kind of look like my skin is just beaming. That's how I kind of want my highlights to melt into the skin, because then you don't get that cast where it looks like a line or a stripe is on your skin. It just kind of all seamlessly melds together. And this shade for me, the Pillow Talk shade, does that beautifully. Next up, probably the oldest one I have here. Yes, a very beaten up, about to hit pan. This is my Fenty Afternoon Snack / Mo Honey. And it's this shade, which is the Afternoon Snack side, that I'm talking about. You can see this one I'm like about to hit pan on, whereas the Mo Honey shade, which is much brighter, more shimmery, more glitters in there, I don't really use. I only use it on kind of inner corners, brow arch, that kind of area, whereas the other side is again one of these perfect luminous but not glittery highlights. And again, you can see this one is a little darker. We've kind of got some of the remnants of the Charlotte Tilbury here where I've wiped it off, but this is Afternoon Snack, and you can see it's just, again, it's not sitting on top of the skin, it's not glittery, it's not shimmery, it's just giving us a glow and a luminosity, and it's so soft and beautiful. It just gives you like dewy, glowy skin without looking like highlight, which I love about it. By the way, at the end of the video, I'm going to swatch all of these in a row so you can see them all comparatively and nice and close up. But at the moment, I just want to show you them kind of blended out so you can see them, how they would look on your skin. I wouldn't recommend the Fenty or this shade of the Fenty, by the way, if you are fair or have lighter skin. I'd probably recommend this at medium or deeper skin, kind of medium to tan, that kind of zone. They have all different shades for different skin tones. So you may want to go up a shade if you have lighter or fairer skin, or it's going to leave more of a cast, more of a colour. You'd have to be more careful with it. So that's just something to note. Next up, we have the Natasha Denona All Over Glow Face and Body Shimmer in, what does it say? In powder. That's interesting. Okay, but it's All Over Glow from Natasha Denona. I have the shade 1 Light, and again, it's ginormous because it's, I guess, designed to be all over face and body, as it says. But so it is going to really last you. A little light for me right now, but in winter, I love this one. Again, it's one that's much more luminous than like her Super Glow formula. As you can see, a little light would leave a cast on me right now if I used it. But again, the glow and the luminosity that this gives you is just so soft and understated that it's just, again, serves this purpose beautifully. Isn't going to add texture, isn't going to emphasize lines and wrinkles. It's just the perfect amount of light just hitting your face. One that is very, very similar to the Natasha Denona All Over Glow, in my opinion anyway, but a little more of a shade to it, a tone to it, as opposed to being like your skin but better, is the YSL All Over Glow. So this is called, in the UK, this is called the Touche Eclat 3D All Over Glow. I think in the US it's called something slightly different, like the Radiant Shaper or something, but it is the same product. So this is, on first glance, like a champagne-y shade, but it has almost like a pinky shift. Again, this is one of the more subtle. I'm just actually going to build this up because it's hard to see this on camera, but again, we will be showing you more built up swatches closer up at the end. So again, this is just the most beautiful luminosity. If you like a hint of just something a little more interesting, it's like a pearl, the shade of this. So, you know, one way it looks champagne, but just in the right patch of light, you get this slight hint of a pearly pink in there, which is just so pretty and gorgeous. And again, so soft and understated, no cast, absolutely beautiful. I feel like YSL just do this type of makeup so well. Next up, this stunning palette from Chantecaille. This is from their Oceans collection, and it's the palette with the manta ray on the front, the coral shade. This blush also, as a side note, is everything. It's glorious, absolutely beautiful and stunning. But this highlight, it's like that sort of baked gelée type formula, so it's going to really last you a long time. You need the tiniest amount, and again, it just does that thing I'm looking for so well. This is probably the most highlighty of the highlights that I've mentioned today. This one is probably the most beaming, but still doesn't emphasize texture, super just luminous and beautiful and smooth over textured skin or lines. And the shade of this, again, this is the deeper palette. The other shade, which is the pinker shade, is lighter if you have light or fair skin. This shade is going to work for probably medium to tan skin, probably deeper than that, and it may be too light for you. But on me, it's just perfect, and it's just, again, melts into the skin. This is the most bright of the highlights that I've mentioned today, definitely the most impactful. So if you're wanting something that is still super smooth, isn't going to emphasize texture, still is more luminous than it is shimmery, certainly no visible flecks of glitter, but you still want, you know, a beam, a punch, this is the one I'd recommend. And you get that blush as well, because the blush is just heavenly. And lastly, but by no means leastly, my most recent discovery, this is the Guerlain Terracotta Nude. This comes in one shade, and oh my goodness, it's the highlight I have on today, and this ticks all of these boxes better than any other that I've mentioned today. It's probably my favorite highlight of all time. It's so subtle. You can build it and build it and build it, and nothing bad's going to happen. It's never going to look cakey or heavy or too much. You can just build up some extra luminosity. So this is a very built up swatch. Now, as you can see, there is a slight cast if I turn my hand. My hand and my arms are definitely lighter than like my body, and therefore what I match my face to my body. So I wouldn't recommend this unless you're happy with a bit of a sort of bronze topper, almost a blushing highlight type of situation. I wouldn't recommend this for fair or light skin. Unless, like I said, you're going to use it kind of as a blushing highlight situation. Otherwise, it will leave, as you can see, and you turn your hand, that slight cast. But on me, on my skin tone, as you can see today, it melts into the skin. It's like the most barely there luminosity, which is just everything I look for. It is perfect. No shimmer, no glitter, just shine and light and luminosity, and so smooth. The one thing that I just want to mention that may mean you don't like this one as much as I do is it has a very heavy fragrance, that typical Guerlain fragrance. So if you don't like that, you hate fragrance, or you're sensitive to fragrance, then that is the only reason you might not be obsessed with this one. But it is my absolute favourite of the bunch. Here are some swatches. This is the Pillow Talk shade of the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand. As you can see, that little pinky glow, obviously a very heavy built up swatch, but I still think you can just see the beautiful glowing luminosity of it. Next up, the Natasha Denona All Over Glow in the shade Light, which has that lighter sort of white gold champagne-y tone to it. Next up, Afternoon Snack from that Fenty duo. As you can see on the underside of my arm, you can see the real depth of that shade. Again, that sort of rich, almost like a rosy gold in that one. So again, more suited to sort of medium to tan skin as opposed to light or fair, but such a smooth highlight, that one. Next, we have the YSL 3D, and you can see what a great match that is against my skin tone. So in winter, that is like the perfect match to my skin so that you don't get any cast, and it just literally looks like glow. You can barely see it there, but it's just beautiful and luminous. Next, we've got that Chantecaille Coral palette shade, just stunning. As you can see there, it is a bit more beaming than the majority of these other highlights, other than maybe the Charlotte Tilbury, which has that super wet look to it. And then lastly, but by no means leastly, the Guerlain. And just again, look at the shine and just the luminosity, but the smoothness of these highlights just does it for me. So here we have the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Beauty Light Wand. Then we have the Natasha Denona All Over Face and Body Glow in the shade Light. Then we have the Fenty Beauty Afternoon Snack shade. Then we have the YSL All Over Glow. That just comes in the one shade. Then we've got the Chantecaille Coral Chic Cheek Duo shade, and then lastly the Guerlain Terracotta Nude shade, and there they are all together. So there you have it, my ultimate favourite grown-up highlights with no glitter, shimmer, sparkly, metallic finishes, all gorgeous, natural, luminous finishes, just perfect for natural, glowy skin look. Please let us know what your favourite grown-up highlights are in the comment section down below. I hope you found this video helpful, and I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye.